Welcome back and thank you very much for staying with us. Now, President Ramaphosa has met with ministers and senior business leaders to reaffirm the government-business partnership's commitment to their shared goal of growing the economy. The focus for 2025 is accelerating essential reforms, operational improvements and key interventions in the areas of energy, transport and logistics, crime, corruption and, of course, youth unemployment. Business Unity South Africa has a new CEO. Khulekani Mathe is here in studio to discuss a few issues for us. Good morning, Mr. Mathe. Thank you so much for your time and welcome to the South African Morning.
Good morning, Masego, and thank you for having me.
Sure. Let's start with this promise by the president. But then you have ArcelorMittal, which actually threatened the government that it would be leaving and affecting about 1,500 jobs or so already last year. It was the government that asked them to give it time. We're in a new year now. And, you know, this will definitely affect your energy, your employment. What has he said to you about this issue?
So the president has confirmed and reaffirmed his commitment to working with us in business to grow the South African economy. We need to grow the economy above 3% to start making a dent on unemployment and really improving living conditions in South Africa. So it is regrettable that the situation with ArcelorMittal has reached the level that it has, and it will most definitely have a negative impact on the economy. But these are some of the things we need to work on, because clearly the recovery from COVID and everything else that's happened hasn't reached the levels to sustain the activities of companies like ArcelorMittal. And so these are challenges we need to work on and try and overcome.
Yeah. Well, he is currently representing South Africa and by extension Africa at WEF in Davos. What would you say should be his first priority when he speaks to other leaders on our behalf?
Well, interestingly, he's there also as president of the G20. So the president is not just there representing a small country there in the south of the world. So clearly, I mean, this is an opportunity for the president. I've never been to WEF, but I'm told that given everything else and so on, he's given like really proper center stage, and he will be able to host a plenary on the main sort of tent, etc., etc. So that tells you that South Africa has an opportunity to influence what happens in the world. The world is looking at us. And so this is a really great opportunity to sell South Africa as an investment-friendly destination, as a country that is ambitious, as a country that wants to put its best foot forward.
Well, we don't want to only be called ambitious for as long as we have. We want to reach that point where we don't have the problems that we have economically. But are we currently hitting the right notes as a country to keep attracting these investors?
So we have to focus all of our energy on growing the economy. As I've said, we need to grow at levels above 3%. At the moment, we're growing at less than 1%, and projections are that we will just get over 1% in 2025. So we're not there, but we are, I think, on track to get there. We're seeing that growth is starting to pick up, and we need to work and pull all stops to make sure that we actually do reach those high levels of growth in our economy.
Well, you know, at least, for instance, Cape Town being named the #1 city in the world probably will add to that attraction for investors to come this side and invest, at least in that part of the southern tip, so that we can get more tourists, business, etc. I want to know just personally from you, you know, once you hit the ground running, if you haven't already, what's first on your agenda? A lot of people have said you've got big shoes to fill, from the former CEO who's retired, Cas Kovadia, but I'm sure he had some words of wisdom to give you.
Well, you know, as I have said, that we all need to focus our attention on growing the South African economy. And so that will be my priority as well, is how can I lead the business community, marshal the business community, mobilize them towards this one goal of growing the economy. And so that is what will keep me focused for the period that I'm in. Of course, I've had the opportunity of working with Cas Kovadia for many years before, and so he and I go back a long way, and I've learned a lot from him, and he's a great leader, and I've been very privileged to work alongside him.
Yeah. Let's talk about the South African passport. So Henley Passport Index actually gave us an up 10%.
Yep.
Step in the right direction. Good for us.
Absolutely a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
As I understand it, it measures how many destinations you can access visa-free. So clearly, even before some of the reforms that the Minister of Home Affairs has promised, and he says they are underway, we're hitting this note. Clearly, it looks like we are on the right track, and we should keep on the reform path, because those are the reforms that are going to get us back on track. We've been off track for many, many years. We need to get back on track.
Yeah. Let's go back to our first point about the G20, right? Like I said, the president is not only there, at WEF for South Africa. He's there, like you said, as he sits on the G20 presidency or chairmanship, and therefore he represents the entire continent because we're the only ones, So we are hosting the summit this year. What do you think, what are your expectations as BUSA?
So it's not just about hosting the summit.
Yes.
As of the 1st of December 2024, we hold the presidency of the G20. So we are president of the G20 for a whole 12 months, which means that we have an opportunity to influence global policy agendas. Yeah. We are in the driver's seat in terms of big policy debates, and most certainly this is an opportunity for us to use to demonstrate what South Africa can do.
Will he be able to do that, though? Yesterday we saw a president being inaugurated at a superpower that is permanently on the G20.
Yes.
And he has signed some reforms that will probably not benefit Africa. Will he have a loud enough voice?
It will definitely be a difficult period ahead with all of these geopolitical developments that are taking place. Yeah. Our world is difficult, and the presidency will be leading a world that is really pulling in different directions. Yeah. But we also know that that's what he's good at. He's good at bringing people together. So I think he has the opportunity on a global stage to really pull everybody together to what really matters for humanity and for global economy.
Mr. Mathe, thank you so much for your time, and all the best as the BUSA CEO, Khulekani Mathe, just speaking to us there. That's a wrap of the second hour of the South African Morning. Bradan and I, of course, will be back with you at around 8 a.m. with your headlines. Do stay tuned.